I'm going to continue my talk. I was saying that at this point in our prayer, we have no more feelings and we cannot pray anymore. That is why it is necessary that we go into deeper levels of prayer through silent prayer. Why? Because God is now leading us deeper where we will know ourselves. Because as Saint Teresa said, we can never reach deeper prayer unless we know ourselves. What are the things that we need to know ourselves? Now, if you're going to look at the screen, I have there the 8 stages of human personality development. This is how a person develops. If these needs are not given to us during the stages of our age, we will become insecure. And insecurity leaves an emptiness in our heart. And that's the reason why we commit sin, because we fill it up, our insecurity, with whatever is not really according to the will of God. Let me give you an example. If you look at the screen, 0 to 1 year old, the child needs affection. And the identity of the child is, I am what I am given. That means everything has to come from the mother. Now, I will give you a very concrete example. In one of my travels in abroad, I was giving a talk about this. And then I was telling them that if these needs are not given, it will lead us to sin. Because we fill up our insecurity with sinfulness. So I was giving this talk, and I give them also the 3 results of sin in our life. Number 1, the number 1 result of sin in our life is this. It makes our mind dark. The darkness of the mind, the darkening of the mind. That is why people who commit sin can no longer see what is sinful or not sinful. Their minds are already darkened. And the good example that I give this was, while I was traveling abroad, I could see that people are very, very kind to their pets, to their dogs, to their cats. They have hospitals for pets. They will be put to prison if they are cruel to their pets. Then, this country, who are very kind to their pets, allow abortion, to kill a human being inside the womb. Is that not a real darkening of the mind? To take care of your pets and to murder an innocent unborn child in the womb. Today, our minds are darkened. And then, It only does not darken our mind. It blinds us. That's the reason why we say, it is not a sin. Doing this is not a sin. To murder an unborn child is not a sin. To commit sexual action is not a sin. Why? Because the mind is already darkened. If we constantly commit mortal sin, it really darkens our mind. It blinds our intellect. And lastly, all sins are addictive. Why? Every time you commit sin, you still want to commit sin. So, you become an addict of sin. You cannot control it anymore. So, I was giving this talk. And a lady came to me and she said, "Sister, how can you help me? Because I know I am in the state of sin. However, I do not like to get away from my sin." And so I told her, you know, even God cannot force you to leave your sin. Why? Because God respects our freedom. He gave us the gift of freedom. So, He respects our choices in life. We choose our life. And so, God will not even force you to leave your sin. But you know very well that if you commit a mortal sin, if you will die, you will go to hell. And yet, if you choose it, you choose to go to hell. And then she said, "But how can you help me?" I said, "Well, Saint Teresa of Jesus said that when you are in the state of mortal sin, you are influenced by the evil one. If you look at what is happening today, when people are killing one another, when there is so much sin against the sixth commandment, immodest dresses, sexual abuses, you can really prove that these are the effects of the evil one in our lives. So when you are in the state of sin, you are under the influence of the evil one. However, if you are a Catholic, how do you get out from your sin? You go to confession. You confess your sin. If you are a Muslim, because I also give talks to Muslims, they have a way of purifying themselves. Every religion has a way of purifying themselves. So, you will be able to be purified and you will again be in the state of grace. Now, I told her that you can do good acts like trying to help other people who are in need, like trying to do good actions in order to pray that God will give you your grace to be able to leave your sin. But I told her, in order to help you, may I know what is your sin? And she told me that, "Sister, I married very young because I met a man whom I love very much. So I got married with him, and after some years, I fell out of love. And so I left him. And then I met again another man whom I fell in love. And I also live with him. And then after a while, I fall out of love. And then I again live with this man whom I fall in love with. And he said, 'This is the fourth man. But that's the reason why I tell you, I cannot leave him because I feel very secure with his love. And so I told her, I will give you 2 assignments. Number 1 is you have to do it every day. You need to go into this silent prayer at least 30 minutes a day. Number 2, ask your mother what happened to you when you were a little child. And she told me, my mother, as far as I can remember, is really very, very good to me. But I told her, you just ask your mother. The next day she came and she said, Sister, you are right. My mother told me that something happened before I was born. That means I was still in the womb of my mother. My mother and my father met, and it was like a whirlwind romance. So I was conceived before they were married. And so I told her, is your mother a practicing Catholic? And she said, yes. She was brought up in a convent. And so I told her, when your mother and your father go into a sexual action at your conception, your mother must be feeling so afraid, so insecure, and so guilty because the Catholic Church forbids premarital sex. The Catholic Church forbids premarital sex. And so at the point of your conception, you already experience negative energy, insecurity, and whatever kind that your mother was feeling that was communicated to you. And then she said, they were married before I was born. But during the time that they were married, after a while, they had been fighting and they had been angry words. Why? Because they were adjusting. And I told her that, you know, this kind will also make you insecure. Now, I am at the end of my segment. Let us go into prayer. Listen to all the sounds around you. Be aware of your breathing. Say the name of Jesus as you breathe in and as you breathe out. I hope you'll be able to remember our reflection today. And you'll be able to practice your prayer daily. Thank you.